There is the deal going around that Steven Seagal, as in Hard to Kill, Kenpo, or whatever it is, whatever martial arts deal he studied, apparently he left being a sheriff's deputy down in South Louisiana, or whatever it was he was doing. But, there's the deal that he was actually over there fighting with Russia, like some KGB agent. Did you know that he is fighting Steven
No,
Seagal, the
not Steven Seagal. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, Joe Rogan legitimately shared out the tweet, and it was like some CNN newscast, so it must be true, right? I mean,
So,
I'm a
we,
huge Joe Rogan fan. If he shared it out, it's got to be true.
so we got Steven Seagal. He's over there fighting for the Russians. We
Hmm.
got Epstein. He's done sunk 4 Russian cruisers out of a submarine over in
Bit.
the Black Sea.
He's pissed off since he had that noose around his neck. Oh, anyway.
I I mean, good grief. When is this going to end?
Well, couldn't you think the CIA and the NSA and the KGB could come up with a better way to fake your death than having to hang there by a noose for a while? I mean, that would actually hurt and give you rope burn before you got over to Russia.
Who knew the freaking guy was a submarine captain? I mean, I couldn't have dreamed that crap.
Oh, Miss Ann Price is already here, and so I got to share this comment out. Now, make sure the time didn't change. Miss Ann says we're early. Don't we usually start at 7, like 92 shows worth of almost 7 o'clock?
Well, maybe we are. Maybe we need to hang up and, I don't know, figure out whatever the right time is and come back then.
Maybe so. Well, either way, we're glad to have you watching, Miss Ann. And we got Terry Norris in. She says hello. We got about 18 people watching, so we'll sit here and, do our normal little ramble for a few minutes. And
Chris Davis, hello. We teased y'all earlier. Yeah, that's right.
David Johnson says on time, roll with it. Teresa Cassiola, hope I said that right, says no, stay on. Well, look, to give you all some inside baseball, there's a reason that we ramble for a few minutes, then do a countdown, and then come back and ramble for a couple more. That's because in Facebook terms, 8 to 12 minutes into a live is when the majority of people have received the notifications and come in. So there's kind of a method to the madness, but we'll see. Terry Norris says, who was the submarine captain? I guess we'll have to show that here in a little bit.
Oh yeah, we got to show that. If she hasn't seen it, we're definitely going to have to show it. Yeah, I mean, and it ain't COVID madness no more. I mean, who knew that Russia was going to be able to,
Stop COVID all in one fell swoop.
within 24 hours, they killed it. It's
Just
done. It's over.
Poop, no more COVID in the news. Hey, have you seen any of the liberal left stream media griping about the Russian soldiers not wearing masks? Except for the ones that are getting ready for probably chemical or biological warfare. I'm sure they're actually wearing masks. But
I can tell you that I was not focused on that. I was too focused on the I think it was the CDC guidelines saying that in the event of a nuclear attack, be sure to wear my mask. That
yeah.
I was too focused on being safe here.
Hey,
I missed that one.
and we're going to show this here in a second too. But what was that ace fighter pilot that was all in the news the first day or two of that? What was it? The Ghost of Kiev or whatever?
Don't do it. Don't show.
Well,
Yeah, let's not go there.
I wasn't going to do that yet, but I wonder. Oh, I guess he does have to wear a mask because they got their helmets on and an oxygen mask anyway. I guess that qualifies as a COVID mask too up there in the fighter jet.
Yeah. I mean, we can't infect all of the fighter jets with COVID in there. I mean, good gosh.
Right.
Ain't like one guy can write.
Okay. You want to keep rambling, or shall we just go ahead and go to our countdown and get it over with?
Let's go to our countdown, come back, and hey, folks may be wondering what are we going to talk about. I mean,
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Well, obviously,
it's
we're going to
got
talk about Ukraine.
oh, well, Ukraine. Yeah, we got to talk about that. I mean, that's just the gift that keeps on giving right now. But speaking of gifts that keeps on giving, Bossier City. I mean, what would a Bossier Watch show be without talking about Bossier City?
Yeah, they've just been in our sphere of news and stuff for, I don't know, weeks and weeks, I guess a couple of months now.
David Crockett said he got him a king cake.
Hey.
I didn't know the king made any cakes down there.
All right, so looks like we've got some outrageous legal fees. I mean, that sounds like straight up Cypress District stuff, but actually, this is concerning Bossier, right?
Yeah, I mean, if people thought they were mad maybe last week whenever we kind of did a deep dive on Bossier and kind of, maybe some of the non-transparency, well, guess what? We didn't want you to come off of your high. We got to let you know there's some more non-transparency in Bossier City. But we're going to talk about a few little bit, maybe no, it ain't bigger figures. I mean, we're only talking about 6 digits this time, not 8 digits, 6 digits.
6, 8, what's a few tens of
Who
thousands of dollars
cares?
between friends. And then we're going to talk about retaining retaining records by the gatekeeper of records for Bossier. So we're going to talk a little more about that. Slightly different subject, though, than we did from last week. So, all right, let's go ahead and fire off because we're at about 5 minutes. We got 30-something people watching. For those of you that are longtime watchers and listeners, you know the drill. We're going to do about a 2.5, 3-minute countdown, as well as give credit to some of the little logos around here that help with putting this thing out there, and that gives you folks time to get some popcorn done. Popcorn in the microwave takes about 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Grab a good stiff drink, although tonight I'm actually on coffee.
And it gives them an opportunity to click share.
Yes, share.
To people and page, and to invite people.
Yes, tag people, share, tag our elected officials. Do all of that. Okay, folks, we will be back in about 2.5 or 3 minutes. Y'all know the drill. Go get your popcorn and get you a drink.
They feel helpless.
Bossier Watch live broadcast is brought to you by Eagle Truck Center, soaring to new heights. The Outdoor News, fishing and outdoors for our area. Acadiana Mortgage, over 23 years in the mortgage business. SmarterGeek, making technology easier. And the many supporters, donations, and folks sharing information and watching out for Bossier. Now, grab your popcorn and a drink. Here we go. Well, and here we go again. So we had a couple of good comments. David Crockett says your countdown screen is powerful fun. Why, thank you there, Mr. David. We appreciate that.
No doubt, no doubt. Ashley Lee Bullock says, say it ain't so. Kathy
Yeah.
Booth says, already shared.
And our good friend David Johnson says, good evening, everyone. And I would like to point out the logo. I think it's right up there from Eagle Truck Center. Thank you so much, Mr. David Johnson, for a little coffee money help there.
David may feel a little slighted. Well, maybe he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't. No, you know what? I'm looking at it there. Okay, yeah, it's all blazing. I was got like a little head bob thing there. I'm looking on my screen and I see this big fat number that's not on Facebook, but it's a number that shows the number for the other platforms as well, including Facebook. So if you're watching us on Facebook, we appreciate, and but look, there's other shows out there beyond Facebook.
Oh, that's true. We're also on YouTube, of course, and we are broadcasting on, if I can talk, broadcasting on our Louisiana Watch page as well. And I just wanted to point out during the countdown too. We've got a Telegram account and group started, and a few others in social media. So just in case Facebook decides to pull the plug on us for some reason, just go to our website, go to bossierwatch.org, and you can click on social media and link over to any of our other social media channels that we have going. And, if something happens, you can always find us there at the website because we completely control that.
Now they may pull us tonight because we're going to touch on some touchy stuff. And you know what? I mean, everybody watching tonight, we know that we're pulling you away from the State of the Union address. We know y'all are all hell bent on watching that tonight. We get it, but you know what? There's some serious stuff going on, Rex. I gotta know. You know how I really hadn't talked about it, and for all the folks watching, I'm just wondering, have y'all made your decision yet?
Well, hold on. So clue me in. First of all, I didn't even realize there was a State of the Union address tonight. God forbid. But
that's all right. The speaker doesn't know either, but that's beside the point.
Right. And kind of squirrel, I want to point out that Ashley Lee is correct. The actual Facebook Live little icon is blocking some of the stuff. I got to kind of rearrange that. Ashley Lee, turn your phone sideways. Anyway, I'm sorry, Duke. So what decision should we be making this evening?
You mean you haven't made your decision already?
On what?
You're a high achiever. I can't believe that. I mean, are you a communist or a Nazi?
Oh, well, I got to pick a side?
Well,
have we already hit no, Godwin's law? We got to invoke Hitler, I think. So we're not quite there yet, but okay.
But
so
no. Whoa, hold up.
All right, you got to clue me. You got to clue me in.
You're conservative, right wing kind of guy. And you're white. I'm sorry, that automatically makes you a Nazi. You're a Nazi.
So we've injected Nazis, white folks. What else are we conservatives? What else are we going to inject?
But if you're not a Nazi, you got to be a communist.
It's an either. Well, but wait a minute.
Well, yeah, it's an either or.
Now, hold on. What was the actual name of the Nazi party?
I don't know.
I'm butchering this, but the word socialist was in there, wasn't it? The National Association of Socialists Independent. No, I just butchered that, but it had the word socialist in there. I'm not a socialist, I don't think.
No, you're talking about fascists, right?
No,
they were fascists. It was fascism, right?
Well, a lot of people blur. A lot of people blur the lines with that, but literally the Nazi Party used the word socialism in their name, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I know, but Antifa and all the rest of them, whether the anti-fascists, they're against all the Nazis. I mean, right? Have I been living in bizarro world for the last 3-4 years?
Well, here it is, and thanks, Paul Johnson, for putting the comment up, National Socialist. The Nazi Party was officially the National Socialist German Workers' Party. Now, it does say, oddly enough, of course, this is a Google result. Well, actually, it's pulling from Wikipedia. Was a far-right political party in Germany active between 20 and 45. And look, conservatives today are the opposite of conservatives of a couple of hundred years ago. So it's all up in the air. Nobody knows. We have a whole identity crisis. Everybody does.
So are you telling me that all those jack wagons up there in Oregon and everywhere that were all, Republicans are all fascist and Nazis and all that, are you telling me they were all confused? Because they had the rest of the country believing that if you're a Republican and you're a Trump person, you're a Nazi, and that you're a fascist.
Well, we're way off. We are really winging it tonight, folks. Notice the title of the show right there. We can get way off down this tangent. I'll try to stay reined in a little bit. But
they got to know. They got to know they're either a communist or a Nazi. They're being forced to choose.
Everybody's got to have a label. And look, I'll just, again, you've heard me say this a bunch too, but I'll make fun of our conservative friends. Everybody that's a Republican thinks they're a conservative until there's some pet project in the federal government that they want funding for, and then miraculously they're not really sure what conservative means. Matter of fact, I'd argue most Republican conservatives can't even define conservative.
Okay, Jerry Gallman, he just chimed in. What's up?
It's our future mayor.
Future mayor. So here we go. We got to know. We're going to give him his first political question. Jeremy Gallman, are you a communist or a Nazi?
We got to know before the mayor's race. We got to know what letter to put beside your name.
we got to know. You got to identify. Are you a communist or a Nazi? Which one is it?
Well, Jeremy says, "What's my label, Rex?" I'd have to think about this for a minute. I tell you what, though, I will give Jeremy a little credit. He's helping head up and lead the high school fishing league, which I'm a big fan of, and they toughed it out down there at Toledo Bend, and it was cold. And there we go. Jeremy says he's a Baptist. We're putting a B beside your name when you're on the ballot.
All right, Jeremy. So you're in the politics now. So here's what we want to know. If you say you're a Baptist, then what is a Catholic as a communist or a Nazi?
You're going to make me spit my coffee out all over my keyboard.
I just want to know. I mean, I'm trying to figure this thing out here, okay?
All right, so let's see. David Crockett says Zelensky is a Jew, so he can't be a Nazi.
Okay, wait a minute, Dave. All right, David Crockett, I'm glad you weighed in, because this is what I want to know. What's that guy's name? The one that George, what's his name? Soros, yeah.
Oh, that guy.
Soros. Yeah. What is he, David Crockett? Because I know he's a Jew, but I'm just wondering.
And I want to be clear, we have nothing against Jews or Jewish people on this show. I want to be crystal clear. I'm not going against God's chosen people.
Absolutely not. I stand with them, but
I might already be in the line of fire for a lightning strike, but I want to make that perfectly clear.
Look, David Crockett said he's a Jew. Zelensky's a Jew, so he can't be a Nazi. Well, what happened to Soros? I just want to know.
Well, I don't know. This is correct. Soros is an atheist of Jewish origin. Okay, good answer. Very interesting. David Womack says he's Catholic. We're going to hell after this show, right? Straight. There's a straight line.
All right. So why are we asking are you a communist or are you a Nazi? Because apparently you have to be one or the other. You can't be anything other than one or the other, because unless, according to the mainstream media and according to, I'm going to say it, the neocons, if you don't support Ukraine, I don't care. Screw them. I don't care. If you don't support Ukraine, therefore you're a communist. You're a Putin puppet. You're a Trump lackey. But I'm confused, Rex, because if you're a Trumper, then and by virtue of being a Trumper, you're a Putin puppet. 1 year ago or less, you were a Nazi. I don't get it. I need a flow chart. I need a Pareto chart to be able to figure this out.
But I want to point out, and I guess I should put this up on the screen, but I just looked up in the Merriam-Webster Online Dictionary the definition of neoconservative, because that term gets thrown around all the time. Number one, a former liberal espousing political conservatism. A former liberal. So I guess that does mean that Hillary could be a neocon. I mean, that term gets thrown around about her as well. Definition number 2 is a conservative who advocates the assertive promotion of democracy and U.S. natural interest in international affairs, including through military means. Okay, so that's going back to the military industrial complex and all that good stuff. Anyway, we're way off in left and right field at the same time here.
Well, here's the thing, because the mainstream media and all the people that, I got to tell you, I wouldn't take a car ride with them. And you just said one of them, Hillary Clinton. I mean, I'm talking about Hillary Clinton. She needs to come to Bossier and give Bossier City lessons. I mean, on getting rid of emails, or either take lessons, because obviously they've got it figured out better than her. She had to have bleach bit. But anyway, Soros is saying, hey, let's all get on Ukraine. Biden saying, hey, let's get on Ukraine. Everybody's saying, hey, let's get on. All the people that I would never even take a car ride with are all saying we should be on board with Ukraine. And it's all the same people who, in the same breath, 1 week ago, before the invasion, would be calling me a Nazi. I don't get it.
Well, I'll add in one more thing, and then we'll go to some of these cuts or whatever. But I will say this: the mainstream media has done a masterful job of painting Ukraine, or let's say the government of Ukraine, the political upper echelon of Ukraine, as these great and deserving people and all that. And look, I don't want Russia overrunning them either, but it's been nonstop news cycle, pump up the Ukrainian situation. It's almost like this is all orchestrated and there's a playbook going. I mean, they're checking off every box that they can. And I'm sitting back going, I wonder if all of this is actually to distract from some other things that are happening here domestically that aren't so great for Biden.
Oh, Rex, ain't no way, Rex. Ain't no way. You telling me Epstein isn't alive? I mean, look, proof is in the internet. It's out there. It's already out there. I mean, he's out there in the Black Sea right now. He's done sunk 4 Russian cruisers. It's on Twitter. It's on Twitter. There's pictures.
Must be true, right along with Steven Seagal. Steven Seagal was in that submarine movie. Not Red October, the one that he did, where he was in the sub the whole time. Wasn't he like the cook or something, or was that the battleship? I don't remember. But anyway, we digress again.
They got the Ghost over there. Russia's done took control of the airspace, and they got the Ghost over there. He done shot down every plane flying over Russia. I mean, that's real.
Must be on crack or something. All right, so shall we show some of these scenes from over there?
Oh, yeah. Start at cut 1 and just start rolling through them. Let's talk about this a little bit. I mean, folks need to know, because we're dealing with all these damn communists and Nazis on here. Y'all all need to know your place.
Yeah, okay, so here we go. Here, let me get shot number 1. Okay. Yeah, describe this for those that are just listening and not watching.
All right, so, well, I may have got these a little backwards, so we'll go with it here. So, I think that guy in the middle is supposed to be that bad boxer over there or what have you. And, so a lot of people say that, hey, that rumor thing about the Nazis or the pro-Nazi people and all that stuff, that's just those right-wingers, they're meaning conservatives and Republicans who are making crap up, saying, oh, that's just made up stuff. Well, here's a photo of some banquet that they had or whatever, and this little guy, that's that national boxer from Ukraine right there. The one on, the left is holding up like the Ukraine sign. The one on the right, he got some award. I guess he was the best right winger in the country that year. And then they got the boxer there in the middle. And for those of you that don't know, keep on rolling through them, Rex.
All right, let's see. Let me get this one up. Hold on. Oh, hey, that's a pretty flag.
That's an interesting Ukrainian flag. That's their colors.
Nice blue and yellow. Oh, wait. Is that a swastika right there in the middle?
Yeah, it sure is. I can't believe that. I mean, I mean, obviously, if all the Trump supporters and all the right wingers were Nazis, I mean, I guess it would be a natural gravitation for all of them to be on board with Ukraine because you want to support all the Nazi people, right? So let's go to the next screen.
Let's see. That would be cut 3 right here, which would be this one. Right?
Oh,
Oh,
look
look
at
up.
there.
Yeah.
Got to be another Photoshop one. They even got the American flag in there. That must be, let's see, Trump supporters on the right, Ukrainian people on the middle, and Nazi Germany. I mean, who knew?
Those
You know?
socialists over there on the other side with, oh well, at least they pixelated some of the faces. That was mighty nice of them. All right, let's go to the next
Yeah,
one.
I mean, another fake, another fake. So let's go again.
Yeah.
And look at there. I mean, there's that emblem in the middle. They even got NATO there on the left, and look at that cat on the far left. I mean, he's giving the old Heil Hitler or whatever, thing there or whatever. I mean, that's got
Hey,
to be another
well,
Republican, right?
and let me piss off a whole bunch of Republicans. So, we all believe as good Republican conservatives that we're supposed to say the Pledge of Allegiance and salute the flag and the whole deal, right?
Yeah,
Do
yeah,
you
yeah.
know the origin of the Pledge of Allegiance
Um,
and the Bellamy
all right,
salute?
I'm going to play along here. No, I don't know.
Okay, so you need to look up the origins of the Pledge of Allegiance and the Bellamy salute because the Pledge of Allegiance was actually developed by can't remember his first name. His last name was Bellamy. He was an avowed socialist. I believe he was from Germany. And the original salute with the Pledge of Allegiance was not your hand over your heart. It was putting up the Heil Hitler style sign. There are actually pictures from back in the, what was it, the early 1900s of school children doing this before they actually changed that salute. Just so you know.
All right, Jamie Marie Pope. I'm going to start always talking with that deep voice like this.
I know. Usually I get that. Tonight you've got the radio voice. I don't know what's
Hey,
going on
anyway,
here. All
yeah, I
right.
don't know either. Hey, in the middle there on that last photo, now y'all notice that flag, and it said Azov.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Azov. Now, you saw that image in the very first picture that you saw, and we're going to come back to that. But
Okay.
go to the next slide. And there's a
Okay.
reason that we're showing you all of this.
Yeah, let's see here. Hold on. Cut 5. Hold on. Let me get my drag and dropping going here. Oh, wow.
Oh, there we go. So, for all of y'all that, and look, we're not. I mean, if you haven't determined whether you're a communist or a Nazi, I mean, we're trying to help you out here to figure out whether you are
Well,
or you're not,
I,
because
I'd
you may
like
not know which team you're on. You may not know.
I'd like to point out that we've been talking about Jews, Catholics, Baptists, Nazis, socialists, black folks, white folks, whatever else, and we're only at 45 to 50 viewers. Come on, people. What else do we have to
But we,
talk about for controversy to get the viewer
but
numbers up?
but we've not said Democrat one time. I don't think
Well, and we
we
hadn't
have
said
said Hillary.
if we said first Bossier, we'd jump to triple digits, but we're not doing that
Oh,
tonight. Okay, so anyway, this is
yeah.
so. What is the symbolic nature of
Okay.
this?
So everybody thinks, okay, y'all are making all this hubbub about Nazis and socialists and conservatives. I mean, whoops, conservatives. Okay, so how many of you actually knew that people, the mainstream media and a lot of your politicos, especially the ones with a financial interest in Ukraine, they don't like talking about this subject a whole lot. But that emblem symbol right there is actually a brigade within the Ukrainian National Guard. And they get their origins from the Nazis and a unit, an SS unit of the German Third Reich, back during World War II.
Mm-hmm.
That's where their origins come from.
Hmm.
And still exists to this day. And in fact, right prior to Trump, or during that term, you had, or during Trump's term or whatever, sometime around there, Congress actually retain funds or support in Ukraine because of these people. They held money back. They wouldn't give it because of the Nazi thing. But here they are. It exists. It's real. So I'm just wondering for everybody who's been accused, because I have this dialogue with this leftist, Antifa supporting leftist all the time. He's always calling me a Nazi. He's always calling conservatives and Republicans Nazis. And he calls, if you're a Republican, he calls you the Reich wing. And I'm just wondering, because you've had a lot of Republicans and you've had all the Democrats, everybody in the mainstream media pushing you to go all in on Ukraine. I wonder if have you heard any of them tell you that you might be supporting Nazis or Nazi sympathizers?
Well, maybe not. So hold on a second. Let me try to get something put up on the screen here. And again, folks, like the title of the show, we're really, really, truly just winging it here. So hold on just a second. This will be interesting to people. I think it's going to take me a minute to do this. And I want to point out that Kaylee Larkin says we can talk about Bossier officials not wanting people watching the convoy tomorrow. And so I'm, of course, assuming that's talking about the truckers' convoy. But I want to point this out. Hold on, let me get this thing live. Publish. Presto. Okay, there's the Bellamy salute. All right, these are school children back in, when was this? May of 1942. This is the Bellamy salute saying the Pledge of Allegiance, okay? And it wasn't until around 1942-43 that the salute was changed to placing your hand over your heart, and that was at the well, if I can get my thoughts together, at the urging of the American Legion and the Veterans of Foreign Wars. Congress actually passed a law for the etiquette to display your allegiance to the U.S. Those darn socialists.
Well, here's the thing, Rex. The same things dealing with the Nazi Party of the past and how they came to power and the things that they pushed. Isn't it ironic, that you're seeing a lot of the same things today, right now? The national media, now we have social media, but they're controlling what's coming out there, and it seems like they're all steering everybody in one direction. Isn't it interesting how it's all coming together the same way it did, let's say, back then?
Yeah, and I think I brought this up before too, so I won't rehash it, but just a second. And people say, yeah, well, it's fake. The left says it's fake news, the right says it's fake news, blah blah blah. Of course, we have the internet and memes, and everybody's got a phone that can edit, photos and edit video, and then of course there's Photoshop and all that. But I would also like to point out that our news media has done this for, I don't know, ever since there's been a news media. I mean, even the Federalist Papers. That was literally to steer public opinion. So, of course, these days we've got so much information that it is difficult to tell the difference. Or you want me to share that out?
Yeah, sure. Let's talk about this a little bit, because
I think I've already got that one in. So let me pull it up on the screen.
Go ahead.
Yeah, let me get rid of this one. It'll just be easier. That's cut 7. There we go. Oh. Now, Duke, I guess we should have put up the disclaimer that you may see images or hear things in this show that may hurt your feelings. Okay, go ahead.
If we haven't hurt everybody's feelings by now, I mean, I don't know what we've got to do it. But, okay, this poor lady right here, I mean, if you were at all clued into things and you were watching the mainstream media and majority of social media trying to steer you in one direction or the other, you would have seen this poor lady right here. I mean, she got her head wrapped up with some bandages. She got blood all over her face. I mean, this Ukrainian war and this Russian invasion has just devastated this poor lady here.
Well, is this kind of like the now infamous or infamous guys that were Ukrainians that were on the island with, was it a destroyer, Russian destroyer, or whatever it was that came up and told them to surrender, and the Ukrainian guys valiantly said, "Go F yourselves." in whatever
Oh, wait a
Ukrainian
minute.
Russian
You
dialect.
are you? Oh, wait a minute. Are you saying that that's not real? I
No,
mean,
I think it was real. I bet you they actually did say that right before they surrendered.
I, oh, wait a minute. You're telling me that the Russians didn't like blast them to smithereens? They're still alive? That's
Yeah.
not. They're not
Apparent,
dead.
apparently, the news or some kind of bloggers or journalists have found them because, according to the news today, they're still alive after they told the Russian Navy to go F
Now
themselves.
that now that sounds like a similar situation at the Baton Rouge Capitol where the Speaker of the House told one Jamie Marie Pope, "You're out of here," but yet she still remains.
Public building.
Well,
Problem with that.
so this poor lady right here, guys, and this picture, as it would turn out, was used by the propagandists to steer you into going one way on this war. This poor lady, actually, her injuries were as a result of a gas explosion years before this invasion by Russia. Years
Yeah.
before.
Well, but she
It,
did get
hey,
hurt.
it
I'm
didn't
sure
really
that
look.
was pain. It looks painful.
I'm sure it was. It's got to be the Russians' fault,
Yeah.
right?
You know. Look, here's what I'll say about this as we kind of start wrapping up this Ukrainian deal. And I think I said it at the beginning of the show. Apparently, my memory is not good tonight. That what the news media and the Ukrainians especially have done has been masterful in trying to set the stage online and in the regular news media about their valiant efforts to try to hold back Russia. I mean, whether some of this is fake or slightly fake or not, they are putting out a great narrative that everybody is running with about their valiant efforts. And look, I got to say, apparently the Ukrainian president, what's his name? My memory's gone tonight. Anyway, the Ukrainian.
I don't know. Who
Yeah,
knows?
anyway, apparently he is staying in the capital, so kudos to him. But that one shot that they had with him signing the deal, the application to join the EU, is like he was buying a car or something. He can't be any taller than you and I. Those two guys standing beside him were like, must have been 7, 8 foot tall. They were huge.
Look, but there's no.
Zelensky,
Look,
thank you, Kara. Zelensky.
yeah, but look, no, there is no story better than the admiral who's like
Oh,
done sunk
yes.
4 patrol cruisers in the Black Sea. I mean, this guy is owning the Russians. He is
Wow.
owning them.
And he looks kind of familiar. Where have I seen that guy's face before?
Ah, you ain't seen this guy. You ain't seen this guy. I mean,
Didn't he hang out with Bill Clinton a few times?
did
Oh,
they
and
say that
Prince
was a
Andrew.
Lolita?
He also, this same guy, he must have been a great KGB operative because he was hanging out with Prince Andrew, too.
Well, does the Navy have admirals who fly? I don't know.
But,
Maybe they do.
I know our Navy.
He could fly.
Yeah, our Navy
He could
has
fly.
planes. Yeah.
Sure, he could fly.
I mean, he had his own private
haven't-
plane, too. I'm sure he could fly.
haven't you seen Aquaman? I mean, that cat could fly on that thing. I mean, this guy, look at there above his, medals. He's got that little thing with the pitchfork. I mean,
Oh, the little
he's got to be able
trident?
to fly.
The trident? Is he like a
Yeah.
Navy SEAL? What is the equivalent of Russian
you
Navy
see
SEAls?
it right there.
I don't know. Anyway. All
I
right.
mean, look,
Uh,
Epstein is still alive. I mean, Epstein's not dead. I mean, right there, it's proof.
He's been
You see
he's
this?
been hiding out over there around Ukraine.
Yep, he's sinking Russian ships right
Yeah.
now.
Who knew?
I mean,
Breaking news, folks. Epstein is alive. He's been in Ukraine.
y'all just know. I mean, you support Ukraine, you're a Nazi. You support Russia, you're a communist. It's one or the other.
Pick your
I mean,
side now and declare it.
There's no in between. I mean,
we,
it's like Baptists and Catholics, right
and we,
there.
we must have scared the future mayor, Jamie Gallman, off because he hasn't commented back yet. As soon as we got into religion, bam, gone.
What kind of politician are you going to be, Mr. Gallman? I mean, you can't
Apparently
even
a good
answer
one.
tough
He's
questions.
ducking and running for cover. So apparently he'll be a good mayor. Just come in to hang around and take some pictures, but no tough questions. Okay, Duke. So we've kind of beat this horse to death a
I
little
mean,
bit.
this Russian-Ukraine war thing, it almost sounds like Bossier City. I mean, I got to tell you.
Minus the whole nuclear option thing, but yeah, it's pretty close.
All right, so you watched the Bossier City Council meeting today, and I'm dying to know, how did that go? Because I didn't get to watch it, so you were going to give us all the update on Bossier City Council.
Well, I can tell you how a few minutes of it went. The rest of it was actually kind of dark because I was watching the
Dark.
back. Yeah, I was watching the back of my eyelids, and somebody was kept snoring, and so I couldn't hear any of the rest of the meeting. Like they turned the lights out, and somebody was snoring.
You freaking fell asleep.
Yes, I did.
How the heck are we going to get anybody to watch this show if when it's your turn to do Bossier City and you fall asleep?
In my defense, I had a late lunch. I was tired.
Well, lucky for you, being the high achiever that I am, I got some cliff notes on the
Oh,
council meeting today while you were sleeping.
thank goodness, or this was going to be a really short show.
So, you know, have you heard about this LTR building thing that, $20 million project now with all of the change orders? Have you heard about that?
An LTR? Is that like an acronym for a letter building? Are they making a new postal service? Hopefully, something.
I don't know. You know
Bueller,
what?
Bueller.
It don't matter. It's something out there with the CIC. Maybe it's the latrine. Maybe they got a $20 million latrine going out there. I don't know.
Maybe so.
But
Okay.
here's the thing.
Yeah, give us the rundown on it.
Well, the rundown is hey, they had a $385,000 change order today at the Bossier City Council meeting.
Oh, wait a minute. We got to pause right there. Hold your thought.
What?
Our good friend Ed Burchett, who's watching via YouTube, he sent us a comment and he said you might need to stick to local politics because your assessment of the Ukraine crisis is out of touch with all due respect. Dang it, Duke, I knew we should have been joking around instead of being serious. That's what happens when we're serious on this show. People take it completely out of context when we're serious. We should have just been horsing around and joking around and showing pics of Jeffrey Epstein and Nazi flags and talking about the Bellamy salute.
I just want to know.
And not the Bellamy brothers either.
I'm trying to figure it out here, Edward Burchett. If Robert Berry was a communist or a Nazi, which one would he fall? I just want to know, which side would he fall to? Is he communist or Nazi?
We want everybody picking a side today. Choose your side, including you, Mr. Burchett. But thank you for the comment nonetheless.
And Mr. Gallman, you're still not off the hook. You may be hiding, but we know you're out there.
I can decide. I know where Gallman works, and I know where he lives. Burchett says, hey, Burchett's got a pair. He says, communist. Thank you for picking a side, Mr. Burchett.
Edward Burchett is always a high achiever. No doubt about it.
He is. He's a good guy. Okay.
But back to LTR. They had a 300. I mean, not LTR, but the Bossier City Council had a $385,000 change order today. Now, do you know who had a problem with that?
No. Who had a problem with a $385,000 change order?
Nobody.
What? It was so anticlimactic.
No, nobody. Not a single councilman. Not even the mayor. Nobody.
Not even Hammonds?
Nobody even asked a question.
Oh, you got to be kidding.
They didn't even ask a question.
Now, Ashley Lee says in the comment, Hammonds. So, Ashley, correct us if we're wrong. Did Brian, new councilman, rookie councilman Brian Hammonds, did he ask any questions about this $385K? I got to say, by that time, I'm sure I was well into taking a nap.
No, nobody asked no questions. They just rubber stamping 100,000 to 6 digits down there like it ain't nothing. It don't even matter.
Well, it's because nobody was watching apparently. And Kaylee Larkin says, "Where's Mark Smith?" Now we have to be careful, Kaylee, because it's like Beetlejuice. You say what was it, Beetlejuice 3 times, he appears. So, that's twice I've said it. Can't say it a third time.
Yeah, so in other news down there at the council meeting, Human Resources wanted to promote this young lady down there in within their department to another position.
Okay.
And for unknown reasons, Bubba Don and David Montgomery, they tabled it.
Now I did hear that as I was kind of sputtering and trying to figure out if I was asleep or where I was in the world.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, somebody out there probably ought to wonder, I mean, why would they table that? Especially considering in the same exact meeting, the a police officer got promoted, public utilities, they had a hiring resolution and it didn't have any problems whatsoever. I mean, but for some reason in this human resources department, they tabled it. There was some big problem right there.
hmm. Hey, speaking of tabling things, have we heard anything back from the ethics board or as the city on the nepotism thing? Are they still going to be, let's see, nepotism? Are they still going to be nepotistic? That can't be the right word.
Well, I would file a public information request, but they would cite privilege. I mean, right? I mean, who knows? I mean, it ain't like we
Pro-
could get an email.
Probably so. I'm not going to mention any names, but probably so.
And while we're on that, you know what else was missing at the council meeting?
There's no telling.
There was not a word about what transpired on our show last week.
Crickets, huh?
Crickets. It seems to be that it's crickets in Bossier City regarding the subject of emails of the former CAO. I mean, just crickets.
You mean none of our councilmen took the horse by the reins and asked any questions about that? None of that?
Um, I'm gonna have to think on the proper response to that question. I almost feel like you backed me in a corner there just a little bit. Box me in there.
Did I?
Um,
I didn't do it on
yeah,
purpose.
not ready to go there. But the point is that no councilman, just like the change order on the LTR building for $385,000, no councilman stepped up to the mic and said, "I want to talk about, the transparency in Bossier City government." Nobody, not nobody down there had a spine to do it. They didn't do
Hmm.
it.
Hmm. Well, that honestly it doesn't surprise me that much. Hey, here's one that's kind of interesting. Look at this right here. Let me highlight this real quick. It says introduce an ordinance authorizing the release of the full sum of $1,645,937 from the. This is what was interesting to me from the Shuttered Venue Operators Grant Supplemental Award. Who names these things?
What the heck did they just say?
I
Holy
don't know.
crap.
I hadn't looked at it at all. Honestly, I'm just now seeing this on the agenda and just thought I would, do a little squirrel moment here and bring that up. Does anybody know anything about that grant award, the Shuttered Venue Operators Grant Supplemental Award? I mean, I'm sure it's a legit deal. Okay. What else? So I'm just kind of rolling through these real quick as we're sitting here winging it.
So Julie Ferris says, why does she didn't say Craig, I know Craig. She says, why does Spawn make $500,000 a year? Good question.
Hey, look, asking you shall receive. Hold on. Of course, our good friend and the former almost CAO, Shane Cheatham, says, Rex, that is the grant money for the repairs and updates at the BGA. Is that the Brookshire's Grocery Arena? Is that correct, Mr. Cheatham? Okay,
Well,
sorry.
as we started this show off, we kind of talked a little bit about, whoa, Julie Ferris wrote
Just
a book
wrote a
there.
book, yeah.
Holy goodness gracious.
Oh,
Okay.
wait a minute. She mentioned guac, so that caught my attention.
I got to slow down a little bit.
Yeah, all right,
Is she still hung up on Ukraine?
No, I don't think so. Let's go. Wow. Hi, Julie. So let me read this because the font will be kind of small. Julie Ferris says, I will have to go look through old meetings, but a few meetings ago when we voted to approve the application for SVOG, lots of acronyms, there was a detailed line item estimate of all repairs that were needed to the arena. The grant is very specific about what the funds can be used for. As for the Glock question, we are buying the guns, holsters, and scopes, so not just the weapon, and also other gear the SWAT team needs. There was a pretty robust discussion about it at the last council meeting, and we kind of discussed it a little bit here. Okay. Julie says that is Chris Smith's response. Okay. So thanks for that response there, Julie. I'll leave that up there for just a second.
Yeah, hey, there's Kenny Lofton. Interesting comment. Now, y'all know that we are by far the most transparent of municipalities already. Kenny Lofton, I would have to argue with that a little bit. And I'm going to argue with that a little bit because, and I know you're being facetious because you got the little laughing face on there. But I would argue because we're going to provide another example, and we appreciate that comment because this is a good segue into the next section because we're going to provide you another example of the lack of transparency within Bossier. And a lot of folks, y'all might be a little mad again tonight. I don't know. We're going to see here in just a second. But Rex,
Yes,
you
sir.
want to start delving off into it?
Oh, we may as well. Let me put a cute little hand pointing right there so everybody knows where we are. Are we at the outrageous legal fees? Where are we?
We are there. We are
Yes.
there. More to hide in Bossier City.
Now, Duke, correct me if I'm wrong. I think we alluded to this several episodes or several shows ago about a was this the one about a call with some lawyers or a particular lawyer that we alluded to? Is this the same incident?
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct.
And as they
Look,
say, inquiring minds want to know. And look, don't make fun of the National Enquirer. Remember, back in the was it the '04 presidential campaign, the National Enquirer is the one that broke John Edwards' love child, and it turned out to be true and brought down the leading Democratic candidate. So, with that in mind, inquiring minds want to know, what was it about this legal bill or fee or invoice?
well, in this week's episode of Bossier City No Transparency Policy, and we're putting a law firm front and center, you know, the deal is that supposedly based off of a tip that we had, that brought to our attention, and I'm rambling here. Y'all give me a
No.
second. I got to catch my wind here. Ooh, what is that thing?
Yeah, that's right. You're still
You,
maybe a
you,
little under the, or
yeah,
you were under the
yeah,
weather. You got to
yeah,
catch
yeah,
up.
yeah,
Plenty of
yeah.
oxygen.
Rona's done got me. Rona's done got me. But supposedly we were told that there was this law firm or something going on where that supposedly this law firm was you know kind of billing a little heavy, and the
Well, I
tip
mean,
basically.
but now before we get into the details of that, I mean, lawyers have to bill for their time. Time is money. You sure they weren't just billing for, phone calls or emails? I mean, that would be legitimate.
Yeah, no, I could get it. I mean, if you break it out, I got no problem with that. Yeah, Jamie Marie Pope. I mean, look, this law firm has an office in Baton Rouge, so you might want to tune in. I mean, you may already know, but I'm pretty sure since you were kicked out of the Capitol or you got no, pass, the speaker, made him mad. Since I know that you're banished and you're not media and citizen journalists are not considered media, at the Capitol like you. Thank you for getting us all banned. Anyway, um, you know, there's a law firm that is said to, have some egregious billing in Bossier City.
Hmm.
And that was what we were told. And just like, the billing irregularities that, we reported on last week,
Hmm.
this is another part. Now, this isn't, we told y'all that there's another body and another story that this isn't it. This isn't it. But this is another one that's kind of in between that's been out there, and there's others that we're going to keep following up on. But this one right here, um, it brought to our attention the Neil Irwin law firm,
Hmm.
and that there was some billing that was pretty egregious, and
Hmm.
we I mean,
Well,
look,
hey, look,
again,
lawyers are expensive, right?
they are expensive. They are. I mean, and I got to tell you, I found this unbelievable. I don't know if I still believe it. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know.
Well, and look, I got to say, you just look at the Cypress district. I mean, those guys are billing at six figures a year to the Cypress district. I mean, they're lawyers, and maybe these are really good lawyers. Maybe they. Now, I think there is a rate limit set by the AG's office as to what they can uh, bill per hour. I think. I don't know.
Oh, so I mean, are you Are you telling me that the AG's office has a rate of six figures per hour? Is
What?
that? Are you
No, no,
what?
no. Hold on. You must have been mistaken. You said six figures per hour?
Yeah, yeah, no, six figures.
Uh, like adding a couple decimal points and some change, six figures? Even that
Yeah,
would be
no,
four figures in front of it.
no, we're not talking about man shack eight figures. We're talking about law firm six figures. Yeah,
Hmm.
per
Hmm.
hour. Yeah,
Hmm.
per hour, six figures per hour. You didn't know that?
Well, I didn't know that they could do that. That's insanity. What law firm are they padding? I'm sorry. What law
Well,
firm is
well, I
charging that?
well, I would never believe that. I mean, there's no way that's possible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what law firm can charge six figures per hour?
Look, dude, just like Bat Boy, and I've got to correct Jamie Marie Pope, it was the Weekly World News that did the Bat Boy story, not the Inquirer. But just like the Weekly World News can do the Bat Child escapes, surely this has got to be made up. It's got to be fake news. There's no way that a law firm would bill, well, there might be a way they would bill six figures, but surely our folks in city council and city hall aren't dumb enough to pay six figures an hour.
Well, Mark Smith, please enlighten us. Is there a law firm that would charge six figures per hour?
You said it.
You
You
got to
said
be
it.
watching.
You said it
Could
three times.
could you please Mark Smith, Mark Smith, Mark Smith, AG Mark Smith. I mean, uh, look, look, the fact of whether they could charge or not, what would be the subject that a law firm could charge six figures per hour? That's more interesting to me. And
Hmm. Wouldn't well, it wasn't on the agenda, so it wouldn't be a city council item. Maybe it was a
I
past item.
I got a little bit of a sneaking suspicion that it may have something to do, but I got to tell you, after doing a little research, I got reason to believe that it may be more than a past item.
Really? So
Um,
you got to
I'm
give us a few more breadcrumbs here.
okay. So here's the breadcrumbs. The breadcrumbs are that supposedly the Neil Irwin law firm was handling the Link Coleman Walker Place lawsuit,
Ah.
development, issue,
Mm-hmm.
quagmire,
Right.
veil of darkness, whatever you want to call it,
Mm-hmm.
that they were running legal for the city of Bossier. That's kind
Hmm.
of what I understand. But I got to tell you, after getting a little bit of that tip and information, I've kind of got a few more questions.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't this where the mountaintops come into play?
Um, yeah, but
Or
yeah,
shall we wait
yeah.
on mountaintops?
No, 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 no. We can go on there. So we got this a little bit of information, and we're dragging it out here, guys. We'll speed up. We started doing a little fishing, and we wanted to find out a little bit more about this accusation or this thing, and so we sent a public information request to the city of Bossier. Now you got to understand, this request was kind of on the heels of the overwhelming amount of transparency that Tommy Chandler and his band of public servants
His
wanted
merry
to
band of public
allow.
servants.
Yeah, Mary wanted to allow the taxpayers of Bossier City to have on Manshack and the CAO's emails. So here is our request to the mayor and the city attorney.
Hmm. And
So
I got to point out, hold on. Apparently, we have some folks that are watching Biden. Something about Jill and Joe Biden and leashes and maybe handcuffs. I don't know in the comments. So I just want to thank everybody that is. Well, I hate to thank you for watching Joe Biden, though. But I guess on the flip
I hope he's
side,
got a
at least.
diaper. As long as he's got a diaper on, okay?
Yeah. At least they're paying attention to us and Joe Biden. All right. Anyway, I'm sorry. I digress. Back to this records request. Number one says all invoices from the Neil Irwin Law LLC. Neil Irwin, or any combination of names associated with legal services provided by an attorney who is known to have a name pronounced Neil Irwin. Okay, that's interesting. And I highlighted in yellow, or any name you deem to use to describe the. Oh, I'm sorry. Any name pronounced Neil Irwin since January 1st, 2021 to date to the city of Bossier, Bossier City, or in highlighted yellow. Any name you deem to use to describe the geographical city that sits in the northwest corner of the state on the east side of the Red River that's proximal to Shreveport that has an interstate that runs through it. I'm not sure I would really call it a true interstate anymore. It's a pothole region. But anyway, designated and known to be I-20. Fix the Roads, who has a mayor with the last name of Chandler. Those invoices are to include any method of submission, even if by smoke signal. Isn't that like anti-Indian? Or no, I can't say Indian anymore. I'm sorry. From a mountaintop in Georgia. What Indian tribe was in Georgia?
Yeah, I might have overachieved a little bit on that request there.
Well, your wife says, who wrote that? I'll narrow it down, Kara. It wasn't me.
The jackwagon is like blowing us off. I mean, I was mad.
Although I noticed my name comes first in the thanks line there at the bottom.
Well, I was being courteous.
Thanks a lot, Duke.
Well, next time I'll put your name last so he thinks that you wrote it.
Okay, so.
But you would think that my entertaining request would have gotten some kind of positive response, right?
Yeah, you would think. Any response at all? When did we write that? I've forgotten.
I don't even remember the date. But,
well,
you know, I don't know. I just got to say, you know, I apologize. I may have went a little bit overboard. You know, it's not to disparage the people giving smoke signals out of a mountain in Georgia. But, I mean, I needed to make sure that he understood exactly what I was wanting. I didn't want him to have any room to, you know, get out of there.
Well, and I want you to know, Jamie Marie Pope has now designated you as a trophy husband just for that comment. And your wife says, and I quote, it was impressive. All right. So we've got six-figure per hour potential legal fees. We've got a request in for legal invoices.
I don't want to know nothing about their lawsuits. I don't want to know nothing about, you know, I just want to know about their spending money. That's what I want to know about, right? That's easy enough. The taxpayers, you want to know if you're being billed. I mean, we're doing it on your behalf. We want to know if you're being billed 6 figures per hour. That's what we want to know, because that's the implication. So were we able to get the answer or not?
That sounded like crickets.
But Tommy Chandler is so transparent. This is Mr. Transparency. He
Now,
ran on being transparent.
Well, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to ask, was I imagining things, or, you know, didn't he actually run on being transparent or ushering in a new era of transparency? I doubt he actually said that, but
Probably. Yeah, new era of Bossier City. I mean, this was the guy. He was going to, I mean, Tahoe Tommy. I mean, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, right? But
Yeah.
you
All right.
still said,
One more interesting point with that, and then we'll move on to the next topic. Is if the lawyer billed at that rate, somebody's got to pay that rate. It's got to come from somewhere. So we got to figure out how they're going to try to potentially hide this or finagle this.
yeah. So we
Anyway,
send the request and we get a response back, and in cut 10, or no, is that right?
well, that's the email retention policy.
Yeah, that's not right. So we got a response back, and boy, I screwed that up. I don't know how I did that. That may actually be the response, but either way, we get a response back, and the response is that the city of Bossier is citing privilege on all of the invoices uh, that Neil Irwin Law Firm has submitted to the city of Bossier. They wouldn't give them to us
Wait,
at all.
he's asserting attorney-client privilege.
He cited privilege.
Hmm.
So you, the taxpayer of Bossier, you're not entitled to know what. Now, see, I got to be careful there, because in the email that he responded, he said that he would give us the total amount that they've paid the Neil Irwin Law Firm,
Mm-hmm.
but he said he's not going to give us the individual invoices that would show us what they billed for individually, and or that would include per hour. By getting a total amount that they have paid the Neil Irwin Law Firm over whatever period of time, there's no way for us to tell how much they're billing them per hour, or that
Give me
they have billed per hour.
give me a second. And I'll pull up his exact response here. Hold on just a
Yeah,
second.
but at the end of the day, you, the taxpayer, they're saying again, you've got no right to know what, some private law firm out of Shreveport, mind you, with an office in Baton Rouge, is billing the city of Bossier.
Or well, yeah, and why? Which is another just as an important of a point. So I've got it pulled up here on the screen. His official response 5 days ago was, "Please be advised we're in receipt of UPRR date below dated February 17th, blah blah, concerning invoices Neil Irwin Law LLC. Please be further advised that said invoices are privileged. We cannot release. No, you don't want to release, but there's some." Let's just say you might end up having to release some of that.
Yeah, so again, another case where Tommy Chandler, city attorney, not wanting to be transparent, not wanting to put, all the information out there for the public to consume. I mean, and again, all we asked for was the invoices. I mean, redact what you want off the invoices for the purpose. We just want to know the hours billed, the rate, the amount of time. That's what we want to know. But you folks would be happy to know that we filed this afternoon a follow-up request. It was my mistake. I should have already done it, but a privilege log, and hopefully we will get that in short order, or maybe by next week, and we'll provide you that. But I'm not expecting the city to be transparent on the privilege log. They didn't give it to us here. They're going to do everything they can to hide what they're doing and what's there.
Hmm.
Um,
Hey, I gotta say another squirrel moment here. So apparently we're getting a play-by-play in the commentary of Biden's State of the Union deal, but it looks like it's taking him 5 minutes to get to the podium. What is he in slow motion, folks? Okay,
is he lost, wandering around on the stage?
no telling with that guy. All right,
Holy
so
moly!
we've got some outrageous legal fees. Let's talk about record retention in the city of Bossier. Um, and, well, we'll be close to wrapping it up from there, I'm sure.
Before we hit the records retention, a lot of folks are like, why would you be making such a big deal about the Neil Irwin Law Firm? And I want to go back to the Neil Irwin Law Firm and why it's important that we got those invoices. And I want to know what they're billing for, because here's the thing. If you don't know what subject matter they're billing for, I mean, I don't want to know the advice they're giving the city of Bossier, but I do want to know the subject matter that they're talking about because, if you go to the Neil Irwin Law website, you'll also know that they actually have hired a and have a new lawyer working there. Rex, did you know that?
Well, no, I wasn't really aware of that, but I will start setting this up on our screen as you continue to tee that up. Let me make sure I
Well,
get everything set
they've
here.
got a former they've got a former assistant city attorney who's now a lawyer working there. Isn't that
Really?
ironic?
Isn't that ironic?
And
Funny how that kind of works.
yeah, and Gordon Mosley, and don't know him, don't know if he's a good guy, bad guy, don't have a problem either way, one way or the other. But assistant city attorney in Bossier, and he was around, and I think previously on a previous show we covered him and showed some video of him, and I think he was talking about Walter O'Bigby Carriageway.
I knew that name sounded familiar. And I would just like to point out for those of you that see the batboy.jpg down there at the bottom left corner of that screenshot, although it's kind of small, I'm not saying that Gordon Mosley is Batboy. That's where I was going to download the Batboy file and show our viewers that it wasn't the Inquirer. So I just want to make that clear. I'm not calling Gordon Mosley Batboy.
Yeah, well, so the Neil Irwin law firm, really, if you go to their website, they put some interesting things that they kind of specialize in, or Neil Irwin anyway, and some of those things are like, you know, one of the things that jumps out at me is, expropriation. They specialize in expropriating property for government entities or what have you.
Well, hold on a minute now. Let's read what they say. He does professional presentations on expropriation, balancing citizens' property rights, and the need for project development.
Yeah, no, that's on Gordon. But also if you go ahead and you go to Neil,
Mm-hmm.
actually Neil Irwin, the actual guy. Um,
Let's see. Where is his? Let me find him. About Neil T. Irwin, J.D. What is that, J.D.? Is that Juris Doctorate or whatever?
yeah, something like that.
Let me get this Bat Boy off. They're going to think I'm calling them all Bat Boy. Okay.
Probably so. Probably so. Now,
Let's make this a little larger. Whoops, too large.
so what I'm wondering with all those specialties, if you scroll down to the bottom of Neil Irwin here and you look at it, and what I'm wondering is that if this law firm, scroll down to the bottom of his page right
All
there,
right, making my way down there.
and if you kind of zoom in there in the middle, I think that's what talking about developments and stuff. I'm wondering if he had anything to do, if this cat had anything to do with riverfront development. You
Oh, you're
know,
talking about this economic development, including public-private partnerships, cooperative endeavor agreements, intergovernmental agreements, and
oh,
special districts?
wait a minute, public-private partnerships. That sounds a lot like Manshack.
Hmm. Hmm.
Isn't that what Manshack has? They got a public-private partnership.
Yeah.
No bid. We don't bid around here, right?
Right.
That's what that sounds like to me. And but even more than that, and cooperative endeavor agreements and intergovernmental agreements are. I mean, are we talking about like LCDA stuff there? Is that what we're talking about?
I thought I had a sneeze moment. Apparently
Or
so. He does have a Baton Rouge address, so
are we,
our good buddy
you
King
know,
David could go down there and hang out.
or are we talking about like YMCA agreements? I mean, is it possible that we're talking about Walter O'Bigby Carriageway projects and Manchac and Union Pacific? Because I think in there they said something about reading contracts or writing or reading contracts somewhere in there in
Hmm.
his little description. So I mean, I'm wondering, was he the guy that was covering the contracts for the city and the Walter O'Bigby Carriageway Shed Road thing in Union Pacific?
Hmm. Interesting. And right there in the middle, it says litigation representation. So just so everybody knows that he is a full service lawyer, he will do litigation representation of local governments citizens groups, and individuals in a broad range of complex governmental and commercial legal matters, including zoning and land use, expropriation, lease rights, access control, and contract interpretation and enforcement.
So it almost makes you wonder. So if we can't get records, we can't get emails, we can't get invoices, you know, what is the retention policy, records retention policies of Bossier City? I mean, do they even have them, or is it just
they've been
we'll
around.
give them to you, we'll give them to you till we legally don't have to hold them anymore?
Well, maybe so, but look, Bossier City's been around for a while. They're technologically advanced. I mean, my goodness, we have the Cyber Innovation Center. It has the word cyber in it. They've got to be technologically advanced with the word cyber in them.
You would think that they're high achieving. I mean, look, when I was down there at Bossier, I mean, they were writing policies, spitting policies out left and right. The Halfins were. I mean, that gum, it was like a policy a day. I mean, they were choking you with policies down there. I'm sure Chief Zagoni has rolled back all these policies down there. I'm sure he ain't just choking them down. He's probably too busy buying Tahoes.
Maybe so. So let me, I'm going to pull up the actual email here. Well, and read it. So this is a shot of Jacobs' response. So hold on. Let me pull up the email so I can kind of read it real quick. So we, I think it was actually you mainly, but we both signed it. So we did ask for the retention policy, the current email electronic communication records retention policy used by the city of Bossier. And what we got in response was this. And this, folks, is actually just, he yanked it straight from the Louisiana State Archives policy, electronic mail retention, and blah, 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 blah. But the main thing is that the retention of email must be based on content, not on media type, artificial duration, or on storage limitations. Email should be retained for the same duration as other records of similar content included in a given record series or an approved retention schedule. Again, instead of the City of Bossier sending us their actual policy, he just hurried up and Googled this and found the one on the Louisiana State Archives and just sent us theirs. Of course, I highlighted it. But they don't, now I want to be clear, they don't have to retain transitory information, which would be unsolicited and junk emails not related to agency work, listservs, or other email broadcast lists that require subscription, including newspapers. So if they subscribe to the Inquisitor, they don't have to keep those. Reminders for meetings and events, or, a notice that, hey, they're having cake in the conference room, and personal non-work related emails received by employees. And really the employees shouldn't have their personal email coming into their city email, but I guess sometimes that happens. Anyway, but here's the thing. So right here in this same document that our wonderful, super intelligent litigator-in-chief, city attorney, sent us for their retention deal, it says, and I quote, that they must maintain their email in a manner that complies with that public body's approved retention schedule and the records management practices already established for other media as required by law. Well, guess what he didn't send us? He didn't send us their approved retention schedule or the records management practices already established. Where are they, Charles? Can you not read an email?
That's what he's got the six-figure law firm for. He's probably waiting on the bill to be able to respond.
What is his salary as city attorney? Do you remember? I don't remember offhand. Was it over $100,000? Right around $100,000?
I'm thinking it's like 90,000, but the thing is
that number sticks out to me.
He's too busy with his own private law practice. I mean, this ain't a full-time gig being city attorney. This is you.
Oh, he's getting his cake and eating it too.
Oh yeah. Like the assistant city attorney, he's got
Oh, I
another
forgot how
public.
much. How much is the city
He
paying Richard Ray?
he's got another
60,000? I don't know. 60,
he's got
70,
another
50,000? I don't
public
know.
attorney. He's got another public attorney job up there with the DA's office. So he's feeding off of the public trough twice.
And between the two of them, and yes, this is directed to you as well, Richard Ray. Between the two of them, y'all can't come up with a records retention policy other than being lazy and going and grabbing the one off the archives website? Really, guys?
Rex, I could gloat here just a little bit, but I'm not gonna gloat. But the fact of the matter is there is a policy. But you got your two city attorneys and they don't know about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there is.
Okay. Well,
Uh,
I hate to issue an apology to the city attorney and the assistant city attorney, but I guess,
yeah,
they,
but no, what's that saying that if you break the law and you go to court and they say ignorance of the
ignorance
law
is
is no
no
excuse?
excuse. Yeah.
Isn't that what they always throw down us non-law people's
Yeah. It's what they say on
face? Isn't that
TV
what
shows all the time.
they choke us with it? Well, I got to tell you, as a good friend of mine years ago said, the shoes be's on the other foots.
Well, I don't know. We'll try, folks. We'll try some more to actually get the retention record for those of you that are interested. And it is important because we need to know how long they keep emails. I mean, apparently they don't keep them any longer than 6 months or a year. I don't know. Apparently.
All right, so I'm wondering, all these folks messaging saying that they're watching, the commander in chief stumbling across the stage. Have y'all decided? Are you a communist? Are you a Nazi? Which one
Yeah.
is it?
We want to
Which
know in the
one's
comments.
what's he saying you should be?
Let's see. What's that guy from Oklahoma? How big a boy are you? We want to know, how big a boy are you? Are you going to declare your side? Are you willing to do it in the comments on social media?
I just want to know, what do we got to be? We got to be a communist or we got to be a Nazi? I mean, can you be both? Can you be neither?
And somewhere I need a sound effect for that. But let's see. This one
And
is
if
called Glockenspiel, but that's not really the sound effect that we need.
If I'm Baptist, does that make me communist?
Ashley Lee says she's going to be French. That way it's okay for me to hate people. And you have to wait for, us and the British and all that to come rescue you. Roy D. Mercer. Thank you, Jamie Marie Pope. If y'all have never listened to Roy D. Mercer, just trust me, you're in for a treat. How big a boy are you?
All right. Everything that happens at the Capitol is going to be Jamie Marie Pope's fault, just so everybody knows.
Yeah, exactly. Next time you're down
right.
there and Jamie Marie and you happen to be presenting some information or something like that, I double dog dare you to step into the mic and say, how big a boy are you? Okay.
That's all I got. Have a good night.
Yep. We winged it for a little over an hour. Folks, we appreciate all of y'all watching. We've still got 40-something people watching at an hour and 23 minutes of winging it. Honestly, we didn't have a heck of a lot to talk about. So, again, we appreciate y'all watching. We're going to try to get some more records information and information on these legal fees, and we will report back as soon as we get that. As usual, if you got some information you want to send us, do a free Proton Mail account. Keep it anonymous. Send an email to bossierwatch at Proton Mail. We do check those. We will see you either Thursday night or next Tuesday, one of the two, at 7 p.m., Miss Ann Price. We're out of here.
Good night.